The 39 countries that participated in the index were assessed on their pension funds' adequacy, sustainability and integrity, and South Africa scored 43% and 78% respectively. However, the index has recommended that the country introduce mandatory contributions to compel everyone who's employed to have some form of a retirement fund.
The integrity of our pension system, our private pension system, is ranked, very strong, highly. And I think you recognize that just given the regulator, the FSCA, the activity around the South African pension industry, very well governed, governance structures, infrastructure is sound. Where we struggle as a country and possibly as a pension system is when you start looking at the public as well as the private pension system.
The impact of COVID-19 has increased the financial pressures of pension fund members. Many countries are likely to face long-term economic effect impacting industries, interest rates and investment returns. And the level of government debt is likely to make it difficult for governments to support their old age population, either through pension or providing adequate health services.
If we could have a mandatory percentage, even at up to 1 or 2% of both employee and employer contributions of salary going to a pension fund, I think we might suffer financially as a country in the short term, but in the long term, creating wealth for people when they're older and have money to retire on might just be the very financial issue that saves our country in 20, 30 years.
Increased life expectancy is putting more pressure on members to ensure that they have adequate money for retirement. Those who are considering to take early retirement need to assess this decision carefully to avoid running out of funds in retirement.
Before you act and consider in the short term, look through this period and plan. Obviously, you as an individual can defer your retirement in the fund for a period and take your pension at a later stage, if that's possible. So taking advice, looking at all your investments, looking at all your expenses, looking at changes in lifestyle, changes in behavior, and managing a holistic plan is the best way to navigate through this period and uncertainty.
COVID-19 has increased gender inequality in pension funds, and even before the pandemic, women faced retiring with less savings than men. Now the gender gap is expected to widen further in many pension fund systems.
The salary discrepancies between male and females, even in the same positions, is still a war, and I'll use that word very freely. It's still a war that South African society is fighting. It is also the understanding or lack of understanding that South Africans have grown up towards savings. And there is no reason why a female who is working, A, should be underpaid in any way from a male counterpart, and B, should not be part of a pension fund. There is no legal, practical, or logical reason. So there is historical reasons why, and they've all incorrect historical reasons based on gender inequality, based on race inequality, but that needs to end.
South Africa is still lagging behind when it comes to making pension funds more accessible to the majority of workers, especially the low-income earners. And it's estimated that only about 5% of the population is likely to retire comfortably. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.